Hey guys, so today we have a pretty decent game in the WZ113, but more importantly, this game is going to highlight some team play, and of course, I'm going to be playing with Whitetails. And if you've been around on the channel very long, you'll know that me and Whitetails have a really decent synergy when it comes to playing in a platoon, and a lot of my videos honestly probably have him in a platoon with me. But anyways, so we're on a game in Canal and we got up against a Primal platoon, so shout out to them. They played really well, and unfortunately, I will spoil it, they don't win, and we get a really close game in the end. But I'm going to go right here, this stereotypical spot on Canal, and try to get some spots off, and that was a really poor misjudged shot on his speed. The shell velocity on the 113 is nice because it has APCR standard, but I did not anticipate how fast he was actually coming down that hill, and I aim mid tank instead of front tank, and I go right behind him. So with him pushing up here in the IS-4, I decide I'm going to take the hit from whatever's over there, even if there's a TD, because I can sacrifice my HE. We have an advantage over here, and I'm just going to sacrifice HP to push over here and catch him out in the open. That's the one bad part about this spot. If your TDs aren't going to put really good covering fire in on you, you're going to get rushed. Like, you can get rushed so easily in here, and sadly, I get two really bad bounces here, and because of that, I get dropped to about a one-shot 300 HP here in a second, and there it is. Right there. Okay. So that's another thing to highlight with the 113. I believe I highlighted it in my review of it. Once you get above or even on flat ground with it, the armor is not hard to pen. It doesn't have very strong armor. Anyways, it's just angling is the huge part about the tank. And you're going to see that I blind fired the top of the hill there because I'm not sure if I would spot a TD camp there with camo net. So just in case I had to blind fire to see if I connected with anything or bounced, and to know if I could push across. So I'm going to take that advantage that the Ag Tiger backed off, and I'm going to push right up here, and I'm going to see if I can spot any of the other TDs back there, because there's two 183s, a 183, a Grill, and a Ag Tiger, and I'm not sure where the Grill's at this point, and being on a one shot, I'm really wary of tank destroyers at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little ramp here on the far side of Canal, essentially to stay hull down, and that's what's going to make this tank amazing. Once you get hull down and you let your gun go to work, the 113 can rack up damage. And so keep in mind, I've only done at this point, I think, one shot of damage, so about 340, and I'm going to end up doing well over 4k. So it's really important to not leave these DPM tanks alive. Like when I was on low health, it would have been better to commit and kill me. But when you leave a DPM tank alive, they can really influence the game. So over this entire beginning point, I've had really good communication with Whitetails, and he decided to go back to the other side. Essentially, we're going to sit on both sides of this A-cap area, normally in Supremacy, and put out shots on anything that crosses in the middle. And that's what we're doing right now. We're shooting the Ag Tiger and the 57 Heavy. Our Jaegeru isn't doing so hot. He's losing pretty badly to the Primo E5 driven by Moss. And he's actually raging in chat and talking about how he's going to sell it. But we're still taking advantage of this little gap here on our side to put shots into the Ag Tiger and 57. And you notice every time I shoot, I immediately back down. And that's because I know I'm going to get spotted. There's no way I'm going to shoot from here and not get lit. And there's no way they're going to shoot from there and not get lit. So I know as long as I can't see them, they can't see me. And I'm going to take that advantage, and I'm going to put shots out to try and take them down. So there's a one-shot Ag Tiger still sitting over there, and you can notice I really want to kill him. I locked my turret in on that spot. But eventually I'm going to back out. I knew that the 183 and the Grilly were far back there, so I can push the rear of my tank that's really, really long out in the back there. Now I'm going to look on a shot on the E5 that's crossing. I connect one. And then I'm going to go for a shot here on the 62. He's driving away, and this is another poorly judged shot, and that won't connect. Sadly, I didn't... Through the bush, I really couldn't tell where he was, and now you're going to see me blind fire again. I'm shooting towards where the E5 is. If I can whittle down as much HP as possible, it'd be great. And now the 62 decides he's going to yellow me. And this is a really interesting decision on his part. I let Whitetails know what's going on. He sees it. He actually goes into a position to where if the 62 pushed over to me, he would be able to shut him down. But unfortunately, the 62 delays his shot, bounces, and I'm very confident I could push forward and shut him down as well. So now we went from a brief 2v3 to a 2v2, and it's still very deadly tanks on the other side. I mean, it's an E5 driven by Primo. You know they're not going to make mistakes. And it's a 183, which regardless of who's driving it, can really destroy you, especially when you're at one shot. And right there, oh my gosh, I drive out and I show my rear to the 183. Sadly, he apparently wasn't pre-aimed on my spot because he didn't shoot. And once I see Moss drive down towards the cap, I know I'm safe to poke and try to bait the shot. I bait the 183, he does miss, luckily, otherwise this game could have made a huge turn. And he can't back out of that area quick enough for this reload, and I'm going to shut him down. So now I'm going to come up behind this rock, because I know Moss is down there somewhere in the E5, and Tails is communicating with me, he says, I'm pushing down, just wait a second. Once I go forward, you see him shoot, go ahead. So I'm going to wait for that shot, or the attention to be drawn towards him. He shoots, I'm going to poke out, I'm going to load heat, and look for the top of the turret shot. He luckily turns his turret, and I get a lucky shot into the side. I don't think that would have pinned if he was facing me. I don't think I had a high enough angle on the top of the turret. We still went for it nonetheless, and I'm going to try to get a stab shot in here, and it goes into the ground. Sadly, I mean, we got really worried here. Tails started saying he needed help immediately. Lucky for us, he bounced, and I come around, use HG, and I'm going to just wrap up the end of this game. I ended up with 4 kills. Sadly, Whitetails does a lot of damage, but he doesn't really put out the kills that we were hoping he would get. But 4 kills, nonetheless, it's going to get us a nice win there, and it's going to end up being an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for the WZ113. Here we'll jump into the in-game battle results. As you saw, that was a replay, so it took me a minute to pull up the files. 4,436 damage, so when you consider I basically did 4,000 damage and got 4 kills as a one-shot, it really emphasizes that idea of you need to kill tanks and not just do damage. And there you go, he did 3.4k. Sadly, he didn't get any kills at all. I took most of his wrap-up kills. But other than that, GG to that Primo team, and hopefully we'll see them again out there. It was a great game, and I hope you guys enjoyed.